Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So this episode I actually really enjoyed. I really enjoyed this episode. Um, okay, let's start off with the whole Michael and Josh, Michael, Willow coming at Nina. Oh yes, her day has finally started to come to pass. First, they're hanging out, having date night with each other, and Jocelyn walks up. And Jocelyn's like, so you didn't hear what happened? She tells both of them about, everything that Nina did. So at this point, Michael's like, I'm sorry, what? And they're all standing there talking. Esme is being a creep. First of all, she got kicked out of Curtis Club because she came in there with a fake ID, and he was like, yeah, nah, I'm not losing my license over this. You can go. I'm gonna keep this, but you can go. And then she was all like, "Oh, well, in Europe, the legal drinking age is 18." I'm like, "Well, then go to Europe then." Then go to Europe then, because out here, yeah, that's not happening. So he kicked her out, and now she's standing over at Kelly's, calling Spencer a couple of times, and looking at Jocelyn and her family like a damn creep. And then she just walks on in. She just This chick just walks on in like, who died? And Jocelyn was like, well, sadly, no one. Or something like that. And I'm like, what are you doing over here? So she starts talking about how she met Sonny and this, that, and the third. Now, at this point, Michael's like, yeah, I gotta sit there and confront this chick. And Esme starts talking to Michael. It's like, oh, you mean Nina Reed? The fashion, yada yada yada. Like I met her and all this other stuff. And she's talking to him, and he's not even like she's not even a factor. He just walks on out in the middle of her sentence, and I'm not gonna lie, that was just hilarious. And she's just like, well, what's going on? I was like, yo, no one likes you. It was like, no one likes you. I'm pretty sure Jocelyn has not got a chance to talk to Michael about Esme. But, to be fair, Michael... Alright, here's the thing. Michael is usually more polite than that. But I understand that he had business to talk about. But still, he didn't even sit there and acknowledge her like, hey, listen, I can't talk right now. He just walked off on her in the middle of her sentence like she was just talking to no one. So Michael and Willow go to the club, which, by the way, how did they know that that Nina was at the Savoy? I don't understand that. How did they know that she was there? Anyway, Nina is talking to Curtis and tells him everything about Sonny, keeping him away, all this other stuff, just filling him in. I don't know if she told him about the part where she found love with, let's just call him his alter ego. But Curtis isn't gonna judge, and at the end of it, he was like, yeah, listen, don't get me wrong, it was bad, but I'm not going to judge you, and he fully supports her and has her back. I don't know, maybe Curtis can be Carly's version of Jason, somebody who's going to sit there and accept her, all her dirt, her flaws, and everything like that, and still have her back at the end of the day. I always sit there and say you either need a Jason in your life or you need a Gary in your life. And if you know what I'm talking about, then just write the name of the show I'm talking about. But yeah, Michael, he comes to the club with us like, yo, we gotta talk. And Kurt's like, oh, well, maybe this isn't like the best time for it. I was like, yo, you might want to just kind of just like step back. I get it, it's his club or whatever, and I guess he thought that, like, he was going to be barking on her, but, he confronted her. He was like, yo, why would you do that? Like, why would you sit there and smile in our faces and everything like that? And he was like, yo, listen, I get it. You want to get back at my mom. All right, whatever. She's a big girl. She can handle it. What about her kids? What about us? What about Donna? What about Wiley? So he really comes at her at her all the smoke, which she rightfully deserves. So after he finished saying what he was saying, Curtis is like, oh, okay, well, you got your chance to talk, and now it's going to be my chance. And I'm like, I'm sorry, why does your opinion matter in any of this? Like, when he said that, I was like, I'm sorry, he almost actually sounds like what he says matters. Like his opinion actually matters at all. And so I was sitting there like, really? Really? You got something to say? Okay. Alright, bro. Speak. Curtis, and I really do not like Nina. I really don't like Nina. And I've said this multiple times, and I almost want to apologize for sitting there saying, just being repetitive, but at the same time, I really can't stand her. But Curtis practically says, like, listen, I get it, you want to be upset with her, you don't want to forgive her, whatever. But Wiley can benefit from having both his grandmothers, in his life. And if you're going to sit there and punish her, then you might as well be sitting there punishing Wiley too. Here's the thing, I get knee-jerk reactions, okay? I get it. Like, what she did, like, I can see him being so pissed off that he was like, yo, listen, that was the last time you're ever going to sit there and see Wiley, ever. You're done. You're done. Like, it's over. Just because you're just that pissed off. You're that pissed off, you want to punish her. I get the emotion behind that. And as much as I do not like this woman, I really don't. Sometimes, as a parent, you have to sit there and put all that anger and everything, you got to put that all aside, and you got to sit there and be like, and as much as you don't like that person, you got to sit there and be like, is it in the best interest of your child? And, punishing her will be like punishing Wiley, because Wiley doesn't know any better. He doesn't understand the consequences and everything like that she did. All he understands is that he's seen this woman again. He obviously likes spending time with her. And now he can't see her because the adults in his life are fighting with each other. So, he had to sit there and kind of be like, yeah, I'm going to just go. Because as much as I, again, do not like Wiley, do not like Nina, I'm so pissed off at her that I'll just call her a different name. As much as I don't like her, Curtis has a point. And don't get me wrong, I think that Nina is... I don't want to sit there and go back and forth and kind of like weigh in on is Nina a good influence on Wiley's life, but, again, Wiley enjoys spending time with her, and, to sit there and separate that bond just because you're that angry. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, she separated him away from his grandfather for damn near a year. So that... I get both sides of it, but ultimately, I'm going to have to sit there and side with Curtis. So Spencer is really getting the riot act He's really getting it from Nikolas. He is done. He's pissed off, and he tells Ava everything. And now Ava is angry. Because bottom line, even if, Ava was like, even if you want to sit there and come at me, whatever. But you involved her daughter into it. Not to mention the mean-spirited thing that they did as far as Kiki and everything like that. But you involved her daughter into it. So she was like, yo, listen, I'll forgive you my own time. Like, that's just that. But Nikolas is done. He's so done that he kicked him out. This is after he begged for forgiveness. He begged for forgiveness. And Nikolas kicked him out. He was like, yo, I can't forgive you. I can't even look at you right now. To be honest, I want you out the house. And he kicks him out the house. And part of me was like, man, like, here's the thing. As much as I do not like what Spencer did, and I truly do mean that. And yeah, involving Avery was really terrible. And as much as I don't want to sit there and defend Spencer, because let's be honest, even when he was in this thing, like, oh, well, I still couldn't forgive you. I was like, bro, seriously? Okay, I'm the king of holding grudges, but I'm like, damn. Like, really? You had that grudge when you was like, what, 6 or 7 or something? You're damn near 18. Because, time just flows in this odd way on soap operas. But I was like, bro, really? And then he was all like, oh, well, I wanted to sit there and stop, but I couldn't. Yeah, okay, whatever. So as much as I don't want to sit there and defend Spencer, at the end of the day, that's his son. That's his son. This isn't like, just some friend that did something and drove a wedge between you and your wife or whatever. He was like, yo, you can kick rocks. That's your flesh and blood. And for him to sit there and be like, alright, you're done. And then actually said you're dead to me, I was like, wow. I mean, I'm not condoning what he did, but damn, Nikolas. I mean, you kicked him out the house. You practically said he was dead to him. But you got your Ava back. So I guess that's what matters. You got Ava back, so, there's that. I mean, this is literally what Spencer was not there worried about, is that, you were going to choose your wife over your own son. And in a lot of ways you did. You want to sit there and be upset with him? Fine. You want to create some distance for a little bit? Fine. But the way he made it seem, he practically was like, once he kicked him out, like, you're done, like, I'm done with you. And I felt like that might have been a little bit too much. I mean, that is your son. Now, Dante and Sam are, I think, at Monte Carlo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. But anyway, they're over there, and they're trying to get, like, they're searching for Drew. And they came across that name that I could not pronounce, or, I'm not going to lie, I don't remember. It was the same casino that, I guess, that guy, Rudge, whatever his name is, owned. Anyway, they wound up seeing those two. Or at least the first contact or whatever. And sees that, she's with someone. So, they're like, alright, we gotta sit there and find a way to sit there and split them up. This way we can sit there and talk, or get information or whatever. So Sam, throws a drink in Dante's face. They both walk up to him, and they're like, hey, they start talking for a little bit. Sam winds up going with the guy, and Dante winds up eventually following her back to her room. And I couldn't help but sit there and think, wow, that plan worked perfectly. Like, no flaws whatsoever. Like, she just wasn't going to be like, you know what, you two are just causing a ruckus. I don't like it. I can take you and your shenanigans I said shenanigans. You can take you and your shenanigans, both of y'all, and y'all can get out. Because that's what I would see would wind up happening. Not their plan working to a damn T. But it did because, well, it pretty much had to at that point. Anyway, Dante's in the room. Sam is hanging out by the door. And, yeah, I guess they're gonna try to get some sort of information or whatever. She's pouring him a drink. And, you know, he's flirting with her. Which is kind of odd because she's like, she's going with it. And I'm like, you didn't realize that he was having an argument with his girlfriend like not that long ago. And what, you just think that, alright, cool, they got into a fight, so y'all just gonna be all going up there knocking boots? Like, whatever. By the way, he's all like, you know, gaga over Sam, talking about, oh, you look so beautiful and stuff like that. I was like, I mean, I've seen Sam look better. I've seen, like, Sam wear better dresses and look better. But, I guess everyone, I don't want to sit there and say I have standards, but I've seen her look better in other dresses. Just saying. What is it about Esme that just people don't like? I mean, it almost looked like in the beginning of the episode when Curtis was talking to the bartender, they practically had to do like rock, paper, scissors or whatever to see who would deal with her. I'm like, damn, she just like does she just like, you know, like gives off that vibe so strongly of just pretentiousness and entitlement, like that just no one wants to deal with her. Anyway, speaking of that, so after Esme walks in to talk to Jocelyn, which had no parts to her, Trina and then Cam walk up. They confront her. And at first, you know, she tries to lie about it. She's like, oh, what are you talking about? And then someone, I don't remember who, was like, well, you know what? Spencer's not there. He's confessing. He's telling us everything. You know, he told everything. So now at this point, Esme's like, oh, what are you talking about? You're lying. That can't be right. And then, of course, Spencer walks in. He's like, yep, I did it. And now, you know, Esme is all upset, like, oh, look what you guys did. You got him kicked out the castle. And I'm like, Esme, what is your plan? It didn't help, but 1 second. It didn't help, but I think Trina was like, and that's all you care about, right? It's like living in that giant castle. So they walk off after Trina talks to Spencer. And, you know, Trina's like, yo, listen, I'm not happy with what you did, but I'm not thrilled to sit there and see you in pain. Esme walks out, and pretty much all of them just leave. And Esme's like, hey, you know, don't worry, I got you, you still got me. And I'm like, so Esme, if he's cut off with money from the hotel, where y'all gonna sleep at? You plan on chipping in? Like, what's going on? Carly and Sonny. So, Carly pretty much tells Sonny what happened as far as confronting Nina and everything like that. But then once she was done with it, she was like, alright, I had to sit there and find this out through Nina and other people. Why didn't you tell me? And, you know, Sonny's all like, oh, well, it's in the past, and I didn't feel like reliving it, and, you know, I just want to move forward. And I'm like, so you just want to just continue to lie to her, right? Right? You don't want to tell her everything. Which, honestly tell you the truth, Carly has no room. They both have no room to sit there and be upset with each other when the truth comes out. On both of them sides. And you know how Sonny's going to be. You know, Sonny's going to be all like, oh, what are you talking about? You fell in love with him. How could you do that? Blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, Sonny fell in love with Nina, but you didn't sit there and bother to tell her. But, you know, whatever. It's cool. It's cool. You know, lying by omission is still considered a lie. Now, before I go, and I want to save this towards the end. I didn't want to sit there and say this in the beginning. because I felt like if I said in the beginning, I was gonna be in a bad mood. So, DC Soap Sanctuary, he has it on his Twitter page, but pretty much his channel's gone. Like, YouTube just decided to just delete his whole channel. Now, he was telling me that it might have been because of the latest video that he did. There was a video where he was comparing American soap operas to, let's just sit there and say another country's soap operas. And, you know, because of that, they gave him an email saying that he violated some sort of terms of, like, spam comments and, some other crap that literally made no sense. Now, he was thinking, like, maybe if it was, like, a copyright thing or whatever, because, you know, sometimes, you know, he uses clips in his videos. Like, pretty much 90% of the people on YouTube. So he was thinking because it was that. To be honest, they didn't really say what it was. He tried to appeal it, and they just, well, pretty much rejected him. Like, they rejected his appeal. And I'm like, that sucks. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually pretty pissed off because, you know, the guy worked really hard on his channel. He worked so hard and long on doing his editing and everything like that. Like, he would do, like, his editing process and stuff like that would take hours. Hours. You know, the guy worked, I'm not gonna lie, he worked twice as hard as I did. You know, like, if I sit there and go through it, like, he worked his ass off. And so, for his channel to be gone, not even a warning, not even like, hey, you know, like, I don't know, a strike or whatever on his channel, like a second strike or whatever on his channel. Nothing. Like, I remember he got like one strike because apparently, like, music or whatever. And I don't know how long ago that was between then and now. But even if it was, like, even if it was a copy strike, okay, cool, that's 2 strikes. And, like, maybe you can't upload for a little bit. But just 1 strike and then, oh, channel's gone. It's messed up. It's messed up. He worked, like I said, I'm pissed off because he worked really hard at his channel. And the guy actually, you know, he was only doing it for a couple of months. And he already had like 200 something, nearly 300 subscribers. That's way more than I had when I first started off. So, yeah, it sucks. And, he wrote on his Twitter, so I don't, you know, have a problem with, like, sharing it or whatever, but most likely, because the way that YouTube did and their BS practices, he's probably done, as far as doing YouTube, and I can't blame him. I can't blame him at all. And it's one of those, and I'm just gonna, like, just kind of ramble for a little bit. And it's one of those things that it's really messed up because, you know, YouTube doesn't really have a competitor. I mean, yeah, they have Storyfire, but, like, you know, Storyfire has so many, so much messed up stuff in Storyfire that it just wasn't gonna work. And it's unfortunate because YouTube is so popular. And yeah, there's other little smaller sites, but they're not doing what YouTube's doing. They're not doing what YouTube's doing. They're not making it as easy as YouTube does. It's just not the same. It's like OnlyFans and Fansland. You know, it's like, yeah, I mean, you can sit there and say, hey, I got a Fansland. It's like, do you have an OnlyFans? No. What are you talking? I mean, like, OnlyFans is so much more popular than most of the other places. So it's like most people are going to sit there and be like, if you got an OnlyFans, not follow you. If you got a, well, whatever the other thing is called, I don't know. And it's the same thing with YouTube. So yeah, it sucks. Like I said, I wanted to share that towards the end because I knew if I did in the beginning, I just was not going to, like, I just wasn't going to be in a good mood. I just wasn't going to be in a good mood. I'm still not in a good mood, but, yeah, it sucks. He does have a Twitter account. Um, so definitely follow him on Twitter. And yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are also about me saying that you need a Gary in your life, because everyone needs a Gary in your life. If you know what that means. That being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. Also, uploads should continue as normal. I am moving, but the place I'm moving to, they're already going to be setting up like my internet and everything like that, so it's going to be fine. But I want to sit there and kind of just say it now, because I know most people don't want to follow me like on Twitter, which you totally should not, and Instagram. So that's why I usually say all my updates or whatever on here. Most likely I'm going to still be uploading tomorrow, but you know, just want to put it out there. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Be safe. See you in the next video.